Okay, the first thing I want to take a look at with your style guide. You're using Apple Chancery, Kifa for the subhead, and then Rockwell. So what I want to look at is, are you using those fonts? No, no. So let me see if you're using over here. That says Abriel Fatface. Yeah. There's Rockwell. Okay. So what I'm finding here is there's some inconsistency font choices based on what you have listed in your style guide. So that's the first thing you're going to have to correct. Okay. So it looks like the Rockwell font, okay, and your subheading. So this is about me. This should be, I don't know if I have that font installed, Kifa. Okay. So we come up here, Open Sans. I don't know if I have that, if that's something you downloaded. Looks like it is. I don't have it listed. But you want to make sure those are all changed. So here, I know I have Rockwell. I should be able, I think that's a common one. You know, so you want to make sure they're the same font size, everything is consistent. So that's one thing you're going to have to make sure, because when we look over here, you got Open Sans Bold, Helvetica Light, and Helvetica Light is nowhere in your style guide. So you got to make sure that's the one of the things I look at now is, gave you time to work on that, so that's a big issue right there. Okay, and you're not the only thing. Most students will, they set this up and then they start working with fonts and they forget to update their style guide. So if you want to go a different route, just update your style guide. Okay, now with that said, I mentioned it before, I like what I see up here. I'm not a big fan of that gray background as much. um, Now, that's something you can take a look at and work with. You have your qualifications. You want to make sure you delete your qualifications over here, um, unless you haven't put that in here yet. Now, this is working nicely on your mobile layout. Okay, so oh yeah, this just needs to be deleted from that standpoint because that's going to show on a website. Um, but yeah, that definitely is a nice feature to add. Adds a little more interaction. See, I'm not a big fan of going three across with graphics like this on a mobile layout. It just makes it harder to read. Um, I'm a big proponent of going with just two. Um, so we'll take a look at that. The font sizes on here is a little small. This is a good size, but on the contact page, that's a little bit small, so we have to increase that. It's almost a, I wonder if there's some extra spacing we got to put in there too. These look like the same size, uh, so that's a good thing with that. Though the artist statement here, then you have this gap down here that's kind of, the flow is off a little bit. You either have to move this up or move this down. Where's this artist statement going? I would expect the artist statement to be at the top and then examples of your work right below it. Okay, so if we look at your Muse file, and then so that Rockwell italics, you don't want to be at 10 points at all. Minimum 12. You want to be around 14, for that. So that again, that's something you want to adjust for that purpose. So all this over here, this will actually be published on the page if if I extend this, so you just want to delete all this over here on the right. And for this, just trying to think here. Hmm. Yeah, I have to look at that a little more detail, maybe a little bit later for that. Um, oh yeah, the phone with the three going across. So something like this, you know, you want to take both of these and what's the nice size here? 167 by 216. I almost think you have to have it this large. Okay. And if I was going to do something like this, I would probably go in and make this the same width as the other two. And of course, that means you got to move your text and all this stuff down. And if you want to put those other graphics in, the other thing to look at here as well is the widgets library. You could also bring in a slideshow for desktop or for the mobile. And there's a variety of different slideshows. You can actually download free ones. But like for example, let's say if you bring over the basic one. Okay. Now it's a little large compared to that, so you got to resize it to fit within your area. And everything can be moved around. But what's the beauty of this is you click on this and you can add your images. And let me go to pictures, we'll go to pets. And you choose all the images you want. And it's automatically going to add it here in just a second. It's uploading. And then all you do, you can click on this and then you can change the captions for each of the images. So that might be a nice feature because I'm all a big fan of also, especially when you work with your portfolio, is I want to know, I like captions in the sense that I want to know how you designed it. I used Illustrator. I did this with chalk. I did this with, so most people want to know how you created it.